Oh, what's up, y'all? What's cracking? Yo, my name's Ari Dunkelberger, but I'm also known as Kalamari Beats. Yeah, you know, my musical background, I would say I grew up in a church, and I grew up in a musical family. My dad played guitar, my grandfather played violin for the Santa Monica Philharmonic, as well as his wife, and, you know, just music in the family. I started playing guitar when I was like maybe around 15. I started just learning my own. My dad showed me a basic few chords, and he said, "All right, learn the rest on your own." And you know, this is like late 90s, and this when internet started like becoming popular among the masses, and you know, I pulled off a lot of tap chords and stuff. But yeah, after that, man, I guess the church I grew up in, it's on the west side of Long Beach. I had a lot of interesting peeps come through, you know, including one of them that went to my church for a while was Elemental of the Visionaries, and yeah, like that cat, I didn't know who he was because I remember I was in high school. I always listened to hip hop for a long time, and you know, I had a boy, he goes by DJ Cram. We're kind of doing our own thing now, but back then he was a DJ, and you know, I used to watch him session, and kind of everybody, you know, in high school had these little crews called Vinyl Villains, and but anyways, yeah, like we just kind of, I just learned a lot of hip hop off of him, and just like watching him do, you know, just DJ sessions and stuff. And yeah, Elemental, he schooled me on hip hop, like when I found out who he was, and he was just telling me about hip hop history and stuff, and it was just like really amazing thing. And I asked him one day, like, what is it, you know, how do you make the beats? And he says, oh yeah, they use like an Akai XL, 2000 XL, you know, like that was like the hot machine back then, especially, you know, amongst the LA underground scene. And I don't know, it just kind of kicked off from there. About 2000, late 2002, early 2003, I started getting into beat making. You know, my boy gave me a copy of Reason 1.0, and I loaded it onto my dad's computer and just started fiddling with it, and you know, it just kind of took off from there. And you know, after that, I just started making beats and just got into record digging, and we hooked up. It was me and DJ Cram. We hooked up with this MC named Ethnic Descent. He was another LA underground cat. And we formed a crew called Soundproof Crew, and you know, we just started clicking up, and he did an album. It's called Simply Kept, and we just started doing like different tours around colleges and around LA area, and then one of our major shows all the time was the FPAC, the Filipino Arts Festivals, and we would always open up before Native Guns, before Bamboo and Kiwi. So yeah, like we just had a lot of hip hop, you know, just, man, it was just in the scene. That was like the height. I remember that was the height of the whole underground hip hop scene too, and yeah. Here's a choice. It's really hard to say. I mean, over the years, you know, like what I was saying earlier, I started out with software. Then I got into, you know, for a while, I was using the SP303 turntable and a tape player, tape recorder. You know, I was just recording my beats on a cassette tape because I didn't have a computer. I got back into software, and but because I picked up the SP303, I got it for the love of hardware too. So I kind of integrated them both hardware and software. Like one of my more recent additions, like this year I got the SP555. It's great for performing your beats live and just doing like live sets. And then just a couple days ago, for years I never jumped onto it because of affordability, but now they're going cheaper and I decided to go old school. I got the MPC 2000 XL, which is actually the last Japanese Akai ever made. So wish I'd had a 3000. That's the last limb machine, but you know, since like again 2002, 2003, and it was 1.0. I eventually, you know, just started jumping up. I jumped up to 5. I haven't jumped on to 6 yet, but I like the fact that it has good mastering capabilities. You can take your tracks and master it. So years I've been using software. The reason it's good, it's decent at compression, but the problem with computer software, digital, you can't get that authentic thump, or you know, like just when you feel like your heartbeat, like you're playing an old school jam. That's why I started integrating hardware, like the SPs, the SP555, or even like the 303. Their compression is like off the chain, man. It's just, you can get your kicks or your drums, you know, or your bass just up, and it just gets a nice, good thump.
Doing mad shit in the studio, having mad fun in the studio, cutting up shit in the studio. Oh.